Hello and welcome back. So, I'm running a social experiment. Social is maybe not the word, but I would really like to help people. And I'm here on chat roulette with a woman that has something to ask me, and that's like, I would like Robert's opinion about it. Maybe I can find some kind of solution. So that's what we're here for. Let's do this. Whiteboard on, camera on, me on, and you on. Let's do this. What's the
Hi.
hello? So tell me,
Yeah.
what would you what's on your mind? Would you like? I wish I could get some clarity on that.
Oh, I still have this kind of trauma with having relationship. We ended it 2 years ago, but it's like still going on in my mind about what happened and somehow give me a trust issue about
Mm-hmm.
the next person because it's all about like my previous relationship. Like he was actually the one and only relationship that I had,
Okay.
and it was really traumatic because I never knew that someone could be that bad, you know.
I think on one hand I want to ask you about the details, but at the same time I know that that can be actually a trigger of the traumatic experiences. Having PTSD myself, so I have to be careful with this. Um, are you okay to talk about the specifics about this, or would that trigger you?
I I would be okay if I said specifically. Maybe you can say something or helps me or anything that can help me.
Fair enough.
Or just like just listen to my story. It's fine.
Fair enough. Let's say okay. So we have this relationship. Well, there we go. And let's say this is you, and this is where we're gonna list
Okay.
all the things about what happened.
So I started like online dating since 2019,
Yeah.
and actually, he came and go. Like he started texting me very sweet, and then he's gone for like 2 weeks, a month. But whenever he texted me again, it's like he was being so sweet again. It's like I felt like he wanted me. It's going on for like 2 years online dating, and then I made it. He's far away in Europe, and I was in Asia.
Right. Okay.
So I went to Europe for him specifically. I really wanted to meet him. Like I become something that is possible, like to work in the in Europe, and everything goes well until like a year later. Turned out that he was cheating on me. I mean, 1%, 2%, hundreds online
What?
online dating. I promise you, hundreds.
Okay. Well, that. Okay. We're just gonna write down there asshole.
Can say that.
Yeah, asshole,
Uh,
asshole cheater. It's yes. Good. Um, there we go.
okay, the twist is that one of the girl, well, he's into Asian. So one of the girl,
I cannot blame him because my wife is also Chinese. So
uh, he, one the girl that he's doing it online, is someone who works in my previous office in my country. So it's like a small world.
yeah, that. Oof. Okay.
But we didn't know each other. Me and the girl didn't know each other until she told our mutual, which is still work there, like, hey, I have this boyfriend, this and that. And then she was like, that is her boyfriend.
Oh no.
That is really crazy, right? And I
Yeah.
was complicated. And turns out when I saw his phone, it's like a lot of chats from Telegram, Discord, WhatsApp, 100 different names, and everything he said like, "Hey, how are you? I need to. I'm so single. I need to put girlfriend." Blah. And he turned out I was the whole time like with him, even when I was so sick. Like I was got COVID back then.
Mm-hmm.
Him at the same time he's texting other girl when I was like laying down, lying on his bed, something like that.
That's bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is like that. And how we made an arrangement and then got back together. I know that was really dumb. I was so naive. Like that was so stupid. I felt like
Yeah, you gave him a You tried to give him a second chance.
yeah, second chance, and then everything went well until it wasn't. And he's like saying, well, he was say this. He was a like he studied this in one of the best university in Europe. Well, can I name the country or should I just
Yeah, you're naming and shaming is a lot. No, that's
the
okay.
country?
You tell me which country?
The Netherlands.
Netherlands. Okay. Yeah. Well, no worries. I'm also Dutch, so
You're Dutch. Okay.
yeah.
So he's like applied physics,
Right.
and he said I was really supportive. He said I do it's not easy because this is difficult. I know applied physics is quite difficult. Not everyone can do it. So I gave him time. At the same time he's doing it for a thing. And uh, if you see his has like innocent face. He's
Okay.
quite aggressive, but he used it as he has autistic. Because I'm autistic, I cannot do this. And he's like being aggressive.
Yeah, more almost like a predator. Predators usually they look soft and gentle on the outside, but on the inside, a wolf in sheep's clothes. That's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we have a bunch of them. Um,
Yeah, but I have to say this. I did everything for him. Like I always traveled across the country just to be with him.
yeah, you kind of sacrifice sacrifice yourself, your life, your dream, your perspective,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah. Actually,
From
in this regard, I can relate because my wife has the same reason for it, that she sacrificed a lot. Like that's a misconception, at least what I noticed a lot is that the Western countries think that the places where you come from and other places in the world, that they are so horrible that you want to run away from it whatsoever. But that's total bullshit. That's not the case. You have your
well,
life,
it's
your dreams, and it's great. So the fact that you sacrifice that, all of that, for the love of your
yes,
life.
exactly. And I was in the Netherlands, so I moved to Belgium for another thing. Every weekend I travel to the Netherlands just to be with him. That's how much I wanted to be with him. Like I loved him. But yeah. And then after months he's like being nice and he went back to be he used to be like he's somehow rude and somehow he grabbed my hand really hard, really hard and then say harsh things like manipulative. He's
Okay.
saying he turned the table.
You do know that when he's pulling your hair very hard, that it hurts you. That is considered domestic violence.
I don't know, but at the time I felt like maybe if I continue with him, I'm gonna die or something because he has his power. Like he's so strong. I thought he's not, but he is strong. So I was like scared, and I thought, okay, this is dangerous, but I played it cool because I was at his place.
Yeah, yeah, you're in a
Then
vulnerable spot.
after a couple months, I need to go back to my country, and every day for a month that we fight over a little thing, like I don't know. And then I found out that he cheated on me again, still doing the same thing with the same person.
So essentially, that second chance that you gave him was out of the window. Yeah,
It's like a waste.
yeah. He's like a person that he will not change, unless he's probably being thrown into jail. He will not change, and even then, I I will say this: when listening to this story, I think the first thing that comes to mind is that when he does it to this many girls, it sounds more like an addiction. It's some kind of fetish to him, for sure. And well, the problem with addiction is that the person who is addicted cannot stop themselves. Of course, there are a few exceptions of exceptional people with the sheer willpower that they can conquer their own shadows. But for every person that might be able to succeed, there's about 1 billion of them that doesn't. So the odds are very heavily stacked against you. I reckon that you totally broke up with him, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the first right step to do.
But,
Toxic person out of your life.
but somehow, like something like reminded me of him. Like I still remember his smell and his place. Like whenever I go to somewhere and I was like recognize the smells, like this smell is exactly like the smell of my ex.
This is very akin to PTSD, because certain locations, smells, whatever it is, external stimuli as they call it, is what is triggering you, and then from it, yeah, it's a problem. Because you're being reminded of it again, or rather, your body is reminded of again, and because your body is connected to your mind, yeah, you wish you could separate them, but it's impossible. So, is this still affecting your life in negative way? Like, is there something in your daily life that because of this you can't do? Is it affecting
Like
you?
sorry.
Is it affecting your quality of life somehow at this moment?
Well, so sometimes in the night I still remembered of him. Like I still cried, but most of the things that that also happened, like my friend asked me about the guy, for example. He looks so innocent and he looks so sweet, but it says like my ex was like that. He was sweet and he was innocent. So it's like, oh, this I cannot say anything about this guy, the guy that you're because my ex I thought was like that, was innocent, was pure, but in the end he broke my heart the most. So it's like it's like that.
First of all, no human is innocent. Okay, with the exception perhaps babies, because babies are cute. and
Yeah, they
ba-
are.
and baby, but the thing is that when I refer to that nobody's innocent, is because we do have to make mistakes in order to learn, in order to grow, in order to have. And the unfortunate part about mistakes is that for you it might only be learning, but it to another it has caused damage. And the fact that damage needs to, or you need to trade damage in order for learning is like, could that not be done differently? And unfortunately, it's not. That's kind of how Mother Nature has decided things as they are. Sucks to be Mother Nature. So, in your daily life, although it happened a while ago, and okay, you have occasionally you have to cry it out, which is still very good, by the way, because I always like to say emotions have to go out first before wisdom can enter back in. So it's okay to cry. Please do it as much as you can because you need it. It's still there in your body. And look at your own body. Like your own body is just, well, this shape, whereas the whole world is, well, multiple times your own size. So the emotions you have, you can only carry that much in your own body as a warehouse. And when your warehouse is full, it just has to be out. Now that you do that in private and especially when for example at specific times is very normal. At night, crying is also for the majority of people very normal to do because your thoughts kind of slow down, and all the other obligation you have in the day and the distractions, etc., they are not there anymore. You're just laying in bed, and then instead of you always pursuing outwards to all the stimuli, now you're kind of emptying yourself, and now all these stimuli, kind of like a waterfall, comes back into you, and you're
No.
I hope you can swim. So my first advice, well, multiple advices I given to you, is that all the things that you're kind of going right now is really normal, and it requires time. And then 2 years, given how hurt you are, is 2 years nothing. That sounds perhaps a bit discrediting, but that's not what I meant. It's more that I respect the level of damage that you have, and that you need the appropriate amount of time of healing for it. Let's say if 2 years recovery for when, for example, being shot by a shotgun, and about 50% of my body is gone, then 2 years of recovery time is totally unreasonable. And for just a little splinter, 2 years, okay, a bit excessive. So imagine for yourself how big your damage actually is. That's only something you can decide upon. But when you have identified how big your damage is, and you have to be really honest with yourself here, then also it helps put into perspective for how long you will want to take for yourself to take the recovery. And it's up to you to determine that time. And as I hear right now, 2 years is absolutely not enough. It takes longer.
No.
So that's the first piece of advice I can give to you to do it. The second thing, I do think, because let's start with the sacrifice part. How is your current life going? Like, let's say the pyramid of Maslow, the human needs pyramid. Do you, for example, have a safe, a stable roof over your head?
Yeah.
Okay. And things like food, drinks, clothing, income, everything is stable in that regard.
Everything I have.
Okay. So essentially that's good, because that eliminates kind of the sacrifice part. Because if you would enter into a new relationship in the future, because that's what humans are, you will now come from a much stronger point. And I always recommend to, although it's now a little bit too late, but for the viewers that are gonna make this, don't sacrifice everything for the sake of a relationship. I know that in some cultures, and especially in Asian cultures, that relationships are more important than anything else. But I will believe that there's going to be a cultural shift in there over time. It will take a while because you're with a hell of a lot of people, so change will not come fast. But when change will come, it will come hard. And as things are becoming more internationalized and everything, sacrifice is an outdated concept for the love part. So right now, as you are more stable, you don't need to do that anymore. So when you would enter into a new relationship, you don't have to give up your dreams, your whatever you were doing in your home country, and start all over again, learning the language, yada yada yada. No need to happen. And it's also because it's also too much to ask, that the other your partner asks from you, but also too much for you to handle on top of the relationship. A human can only bear so much at a certain time, and otherwise they break. And that's what here happened. So remember that for the next time, to not sacrifice your relationship for it. Like, I'm with you because I love you and because I want to be, but not because I need to be.
Okay. Yeah.
That's your first ground of safety. That you also can safely retreat or stop a relationship if necessary. There are some caveats to it, but I think for now it's not the scope of the video. I personally always believe that you will want to do your very level best to keep a relationship going. And I'm not talking about accepting the bullshit or the toxicity part of it, but rather if you break up over a single argument, I'm like, that also says about something about your own character, I think. But then this is the part we really need to work on. Trust issues. Well, I think the first step you already have done is that you are willing to tell this story to a man. As far as I know, I'm still a man, by the way.
Yeah.
And it would not have surprised me if you were willing to tell this story perhaps to another female, but totally not to another male, because the male is the problem here. But in your case, you're brave enough, willing to do that, and not just only like face to face whatsoever in maybe a normal way as most conversations would go, but in this case, it's an entire freaking video that's about it. Although other people would not know you about it, so you stay anonymous, but still, it's like more than just a normal conversation. So you would go already a few steps further ahead than just one. So I think you should give yourself a compliment here, that you are already working on fixing your trust issues and that this is your first step. What else have you tried and done for fixing your trust issues? Are you even considering fixing your trust issues?
I don't know. Somehow it's just happens. Like someone or like I went on a date and then this guy said this and it just reminds me of him. It's just like, is this even real or is this the same this relationship that I had? Because I cannot tell anyone. Like I'm genuine. Like he seems nice, but he was also seems, but he raped me. So it's just I don't know. Like is this honest or it's just like the kind of guy things, you know?
Yeah, I do think that one good key indicator is that you're honest about it. Like I've been damaged and I am perhaps a bit more on the suspicion side of things, not because I want to or because it's in my character, but because I've been hurt in the past. And I think that if the guy you're dating hears this, he has a perfect moment at that time to show if he is legit or not. Because, let me see if I can wipe that away so that I can kind of show you how that would go. So, there we go. All right. So when you get to that choice, that you struggle with the trust issues and that you perhaps are a bit more sensitive to it, he can be, for example, things like dismissive or downplaying it. You kind of get things like, is it really that bad? Or, oh, I'm also hurt by this, etc. Anything that kind of goes into that kind of corner that does not make you feel safe and sound, don't do it. And the other way is that he would acknowledge you on this part. And the thing is, acknowledgement here does not entail just by saying, "Oh, I'm sorry for you that you went through it." It needs to have more substance to it. For example, besides perhaps the "I'm sorry to hear this," which is totally fine to say it, there should be some kind of follow up with it. Is there anything I could do to gain your trust in this regard? And
To what? Okay.
yeah, and what that is, then that's kind of up to you. But something, if he kind of indicates like, okay, I'm willing to work through this, and that he does not like directly feels like, oh, I'm being held accountable, but more like, no, I understand this. Look, I really like you, and I want to make this work. So I understand I might be under a little bit of a microscope at first. But if there's anything I could do or say at the moment to gain and give you trust, it's that genuine interest in it. That could be like, okay, he's at least willing to go the extra mile to make a difference and to make it work. That is a good first step, a good indicator. It's not an absolute truth. He can still perhaps fool around and play around later because people change over time. But at that very moment, that's about the max you can get out of this, out of that particular situation. And the rest is based upon his actions. So, of course, he has his own freedom, etc. But well, the benefit of today is that with the phones, you can check each other's phones if there's communication with others. I personally, in a healthy relationship, advise against it because it will really break trust. But you can ask something like the question like, how would you think about if one of the partners would check each other's phone? And then you have people like this. Or you have people like, no, I have nothing to hide. Here, have a look. I think you will find some very cute cat pictures on it. So, and the people that are very relaxed about this, that are open and transparent, that is a good signal, especially as most of the communication does happen online. So if you have somebody's phone, you pretty much have about 90% of their secrets.
Yeah.
Usually.
The thing is, I respect privacy without even saying, but somehow, sometimes that would almost reach his phone, but I have his phone at all. And then I was like, what? He cheated? I always made fun of it. I didn't know that he was acting. I was just like, what are you doing that? Are you cheating? But it's always
Yeah.
because I don't have the idea him cheating on me because maybe because I trusted him, so the idea of him at all. So he didn't want me to touch his phone because it's part of his artistic. He doesn't want people to do that. Okay, that he can use my phone every time.
Yeah,
My
and this,
phone is always available, and I never had
yeah.
something to hide.
Yeah, and that this is
I
the thing. This is where that is indeed an issue where you could have a red flag. It should be reciprocal. So if he can touch your stuff, you should be able to touch his stuff. Now, I will be honest. I don't allow my wife to touch some of my stuff, and luckily also some of the stuff she does not touch. But that's more because she is technically not so handy. So sometimes I work with tools that are really dangerous, like they can cut off limbs, etc. And then I really prefer that she does not touch them because I don't want to that my wife gets hurt. So it's more about the intent. And but that's the thing, not because you have anything to hide. As soon you get the sense, one of you, or you get the urge that you want to hide some stuff from each other, that's really bad for a relationship. And to refer back to the trust issues, like how to solve it besides just dating. Well, first, take it in smaller steps. Of course, the sacrifice part. Open your heart again, that at least give it a try, but the other person has to put a bit more effort into it. And what I also think is the case is how to check somebody is ready for an relationship. And perhaps somebody that also has been cheated upon can be actually a good thing now because they know the pain. And if you know the pain that you've gone through, would you really want to inflict that pain onto others?
Some people can also take that because they know how hurt it was. Maybe it's like maybe other people can also think that, oh, this person is fragile, well, trust me, and then they can also judge me. So sort of like, what if I tell him how hurt I was? He's gonna take advantage of me because well, you don't know.
True, and this is indeed the risk you will always have. But I do think that by asking other questions first that are kind of like indirect, but gives you a sense of where things are going, it gives you some sense of an direction and an estimate like what this guy is about. The benefit is as you're a girl, girls have a much better nose for this kind of stuff than guys have. They are much more subtle on this. So totally use your female instincts here to the maximum advantage, and have him provide evidence, and not by straight up asking him that like to provide evidence, because then it sounds like an interrogation. But more as in, is he willing to take you into his daily life, and the things that he's doing and going about it, showing you to other friends, etc. Because if he kind of locks himself in to the public that he is with you, he not only has something to explain to you when things go bad, but he will also make a fool of himself to all the others in his network.
Yeah, but the thing is, my ex did that. Introduced me to his parents. Like, he stayed
Oh,
there for
really?
the week. Yeah, his parents divorced. They married to other people, went to his both sides, and he told, I already introduced you to my parents. Like, I'm serious. That's how much damage.
Wow.
He said and then we went to his friend's place.
Okay.
Both parents, like, they divorced, they married with other people, and we also there both sides, like, quite often, once a month, twice. It's like in because we went there.
Okay, I stand
It's
corrected. Super asshole.
yeah, super asshole.
I think you really found the wrong person. That wow. This guy has something to do. It's probably because of these kind of guys that I wish cheating would become a crime. Bit harsh.
And we'll put it in jail for like.
Something like that. Well, in the Netherlands we have still empty jails, so there's place. No, but playing with people's hearts is bad, and unfortunately it happens. I do think you're on the right track. Just don't give up, and be selective, but not impossible to get. I also don't like the hard to get part. That's also, but you can make the other partner work for it. That is totally fine. And if they feel you are worth it, they have no problem to do so. I'm together with my wife for already 7 years, so we have that dreaded 7 years part. That's about it. And so far we have conquered everything. Also with our ups and downs, and there were really some times where patience was being put on the line. Even sometimes some suspicions here and there. And it's really at that moment when both of you need to have a strong character and be able to resolve it. And that just takes time. And that requires that you both look very strongly at yourself as well. Like, okay, what can I do about this? What is my red line? And what kind of openings can I give to the other person? Because if both of you are kind of becoming mountains, and both are yelling to each other like, no, you should move, no, you should move, no, you should move, nothing is going to happen. So girls have it in this part are a bit easier because guys tend to be the mountain and females the water. But use that to your advantage because you can encircle a mountain. And you have your ways to find out if a guy is willing to fight for you, to be with you. And that is not a super asshole. And usually it involves that he has his life already properly set. He is dating with a purpose. And he is not afraid of having a girl that, well, does not need to do the sacrifice either. That's like, I can be on myself. But I want to be with you because I like you and you like me. And we can get along and we complement each other's characters, or my weakness is your strength and vice versa. These basic things is what starts to hold you together. And what keeps you hold together is that you share each other's life, and then the time for bullshit is also extremely limited.
Yeah. It's just a lot.
True.
I still remind me of him, like, last week we went on a date and smelled exactly like. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, then he's out. It's that simple. Then he's out. It sucks to be him.
Yeah, but I didn't tell him, but it's like it's really the same smell. Like yeah,
It can be. And remember, you are very sensitive on the smell, so it would help to know more about your sense of smell. What you like and what you don't like, and maybe your whole dating path is entirely smell based. Who knows? It's one of the senses we have, so it's not uncommon. For me, it's a visual part. I'm very with my eyes very visual minded. That's why whiteboards. Shall I smell the whiteboard here? It smells not to nothing.
uh, and one time I still have my clothes that was from his drawer, and I kept for 1 year. I know after one to open the bag again with the clothes because I didn't unpack it, and when I smelled the same.
Yeah,
Like
you may want to get rid of that or wash it and give it something else.
already, and like and
Oh, it will not go away. Burn it.
I think last month I finally like delete everything about it because I somehow have the memories, but now I already like all the just everything,
True, I understand. Yeah,
and I just you know.
yeah, you have to do that in order to be able to move forward.
And I even like delete his number because if I did still somehow exit him, like having small conversation, like not important.
No, 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 that will not work. I think you made the right move. You have to cut it out, and you did it.
And last time he said, "I'm done with my part. You have to do the same." He said that. At the moment, I deleted all his number and
Yeah,
just whatever. But we shared
yeah. It's a hard
a lot of time.
reset, but it
So
is
yeah,
necessary.
and it's really good because he was my first everything, like everything, like was first boyfriend, was off, and not first boyfriend. Shared everything, all this and that. It's just like a lot, you know.
I know, I know. But you will be fine. You're young, and it takes a few attempts before you find the right partner, unfortunately. I also do have to stop it here, unfortunately, because the battery of my phone is almost dying. And I really want to have it. I really like it. I really hope that this helped you as well. You're not there yet, but I will say you are very much on the right track so far. And I not only believe, but I also firmly wish that you will find the right partner. You're an upstanding girl. At least that I have to give with you. And who knows, maybe when some single guys hear this story, they're like, oh, please, get me in contact with her. Who knows?
It's crazy, but thanks. Yeah, I hope that too. Well, I hope I can hear fully hear.
I firmly believe it. You're about halfway there already. I can tell. You're doing well. Thank you very much.
Can you give me your YouTube or whatever, maybe?
Yes, let me finish the outro and then I will get back to you. Now, guys, that's it. I hope you have learned quite a bit from this story. And, well, it's a sad story, but, and it happens to many people, unfortunately. So the point is, don't cheat, be an upstanding person, and then we're gonna have a happier world. Alright, thanks, and see you to the next one. Bye bye.